Started the review a bit late, but thank you for staying with us. Welcome to the newspaper review segment. Joseph Akable joins me. We're going to run through the papers that we have by way of headlines, the key headlines in the papers. I've got the Daily Graphic newspaper, and we can't project it on the screen, so I'm just going to raise it so you can appreciate what's on the front page of the paper today. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, Ghana joins African Trade Insurance Agency, invests $17.6 million in shareholding. Also, U.S. military uses portions of Terminal 1. That's according to the aviation minister. And the banner headline on illegal fishing by foreign vessels. State loses $50.7 million yearly. Artisanal fishers bear brands. Also, conscience of Mahama clean towards 2020 polls. NDC replying the president. Meningitis outbreak in central region, 2 dead. That's also another headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. On the back page, drama as Adriana Stan, Kotoko 1-0. Like I predicted, Kotoko has been in a poor form. Kind of celebrate when they even draw, but yeah. This was the real test yesterday. Mediama silence inter-allies. So for me, I think the top sports story really is the fact that Kotoko is down. In the center spread of the paper, government safeguard and safety of students in China. That's Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Minister. Given that assurance, campaign to get rid of polio type 2 virus underway. Ghana receives €4.1 million EU grants. Funding will help export diversification. So by way of headlines, these are the stories. But I guess a bit of this meningitis story on page 2 will help us all. So let's go to page 20, I beg your pardon. It says there's an outbreak of meningitis in the Asin South districts in the central region. The outbreak, which began last week, has already claimed the lives of 2 female students of the Nyang Kumasi Ahinkro Senior High School, while 13 suspected cases picked up from the school have been quarantined for treatment at the Abra Dunko Government Hospital. The Deputy Regional Health Directorate, the Public Health Directorate, Dr. Kwamina Sapong, said samples from the 13 suspected cases of meningitis had been sent to the Public Health Reference Laboratory at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for confirmation or otherwise, and the results were expected tomorrow. Details of that just on page 16, maybe just quickly on this story that the Minister of Aviation, Joseph Kofiada, has said portions of the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 1 are being used by Magdan Aviation to provide logistical support for the United States of America military. Responding to a questioning on the floor of Parliament yesterday, the minister said the arrangement between Magdan and the USA formed part of the Defense Cooperation Agreement signed with the US and approved by Parliament back in 2018. This is generating a lot of conversations and commentary on different platforms, including widely on social media. Let's do the Business Finder, or let's Akable do the Daily Guide, and I'll come back.
The front page of the Daily Guide, it says President delivers State of the Nation address today amid NDC threats. NPP lambast NDC on Galamsey politics, also on the front page. And Becky wants 4 more for Nana. That is the First Lady. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Guide. The back page has some sports story. The best club on the continent, Kotoko, the fans, we are told, are set to rescue striker Yakuba. That's why we are struggling, Mama V, just so you know. And why Liverpool
That's
lost
why you're struggling.
Madrid, yes, we don't. Our striker, our striker is demanding some cash in.
You have one striker.
He's the best. Like, he's the best.
Listen, you guys are just poor.
So drama rock Ediana Kotoko as they feature clash 10 men apiece. Have you ever heard of a football match starting with 10 players on each side?
No.
Okay, it happened yesterday.
Which
Kotoko and Ediana.
As in they were all shown red cards or what?
No red card.
They just started with 10.
The 11th player of each of the sides was refusing to go onto the pitch. He wanted the other one to go first. The other one wanted the other one to go first.
What kind of indiscipline is that?
Yes, and so it was quite... Okay, so let me read a bit of that story. It says, superstition took center stage in the Diana Stars Asante Kotoko game at Doma yesterday. The two sides against the rules of the game, paraded 10 men apiece instead of the usual 11. Ediana's Farouk Adams and Kotoko's Martin Entry were the culprits who failed to feature in the midweek game. The two sides, however, resumed the game with 11 men each. So then it talks about the goal that came on. And so we are told that the 11 men came on. The 11th man came on in the second half. But the first half, they both refused to go to the pitch.
And that's allowed?
It's superstition. I'm told it's not allowed. I'm told that Kotoko for close to 9 years, close to a decade actually, they've not won at the Doma Park. In fact, they've not even scored a goal. That's what one sports journalist was drawing my attention to. And so it appears there had been some suggestion that if there are 11 player goals on the pitch before you are going to win the game. So,
so now they know that they're going to lose anyway, so they better just fill the 11. It will help. Let's do the Business Finder newspaper. Front page of the Business Finder, NPA clamps down on criminality, fight subsidy abuse, adulteration with new technology. Also, Ghana backs $5.8 billion from oil. We have high expectations. That's the Chamber of Commerce. Also saying that there's a market summary as they do every Thursday. The Finder tends business, and so many business stories in the Finder newspaper today. Let's do the Daily Statesman newspaper front page. Planting for food and jobs to get $105 million boost. 4 more to do more. Ekufuado presents State of the Nation address today. And you can't score political points out of Galamsey. NPP fires Mahama. Okay.
We can do the front page of the Ghanaian Times now. The Ghanaian Times, it says, a coronavirus outbreak in China. No plans to evacuate Ghanaian students. That's according to the Foreign Affairs Minister. And President delivers State of the Nation address today. NPA vows to clamp down on adulteration of petroleum products, also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. At the back page has some sports story. Karela hold Hearts of Oak, and also Bill's last gas winner ditches Kotoko. So it has a table, how the league table looks like. Asgold is number 1.
About the table, we just care about yesterday's
Asgold is
results.
number 1. Kotoko is number 5, and Hearts of Oak is down, somewhere down.
I knew it. Hearts of Oak has become your standard.
Well, they are competitors. The Daily Dispatch front page, it has the Ghana Trade Fair story. It says, the Ghana Trade Fair Company demolition, GTFCL speaks, Archer answers, read and form your opinion. And Reverend Professor Mate changes mind on church and politics. I'm sure this is an interesting story. Page 12 of the paper. You remember Reverend Mate? He was quite...
Yeah.
We are told that his views on the church and politics have changed now. That's according to...
Well, technically he's retired, right?
It says a man of God who was one of the critics of former presidents, that's Professor Mate, has urged all pastors and Christians to stay away from politics. He has been totally silent since his retirement, which coincided with the coming to power of President Akufo-Addo, made a statement at the annual public lecture of the Bible Society of Ghana. And so he says, although there are instances of politics in the Bible, Jesus refused to partake in it by refusing to be crowned a king and by refusing to enter into confrontations with the Jewish leaders. So should all Christian organizations also desist from entering into politics. Very interesting, a bit about confrontations with the Jewish leaders. And so that is the advice there. I know you are a leader in the church. They said you should start with politics.
I am a member. I am a member of the Kutuzi Trinity Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
I am not a leader in the church.
I see.
Yes, we have our leader.
I see.
Yes, Reverend Abraham Opokubafo.
Okay, so this advice goes to your leader. So.
All right, do you have any more papers to do?
That's all.
Well, unfortunately, we can't take you to myjawline.com, but there are plenty stories on myjawline, including the story about 3 NDC, 2 NPP members arrested in fresh anti-Galamsey swoop. So a bit of that. The anti-Galamsey force has confirmed the arrest of 5 persons in relation to illegal mining at Akwetia in the eastern region. Speaking on Joy FM's News Night Wednesday, the leader of the Special Monitoring, Evacuation and Operation Team of Operation Vanguard, Nanaya Abuedu, confirmed the arrested persons were affiliated to the 2 biggest political parties. That 2 of them are New Patriotic Party members and 3 are Opposition National Democratic Congress members. He did not disclose the identities of the persons, but added members of parliament from both sides of the aisle are also on their radar in the fight against illegal mining. So details of this on myjoyonline.com. We're going to take you there whilst I continue to read on this. The very first story, or one of the main stories on our page. So 20 excavators were seized from the illegal miners, but only 10 have been sent to the police station due to immobility of the others. He added earlier, the operation took place at the Apraman and the logistics moved to the police station there. But when quizzed further, said the operation took place at a Kotia in the Eastern region. All right, so you can go on myjoyonline.com and read the stories. Let's go through the rest of the stories on myjoyonline.com now. I can't give a Kufuado excellent mark. That's NPP MP, great anti-Galamsey fights. You know, they insist that we're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. I can't, okay, can we move on? Okay, so this story is what I've just updated you on, the arrest of some NPP NDC persons involved in Galamsey NPP primaries. Supporters of Adai Nimo and incumbent NP in bloody brawl. So there are still people who say they can't lay their hands on those forms, you know.
I've seen a video of the brawl that happened.
This Adai Nimo issue?
Yes, it's crazy. I'm sure at some point if you're able to pull it up, I mean, it looks like...
Maybe we can open the story.
Yeah.
We can open the story and then we can touch on the other stories on myjoyonline.com and come back and see. Yep.
Yeah. And so if you watch the video, it looks like some...
So where did it happen? The constituency office or the regional office?
No, so the video that I've seen is somewhere in the streets, on the path leading to the office, the constituency office. And so you have the people. So that is the video. We have one of the videos there.
Okay, so this was posted by our colleague Ohimen Terrier. Is this what you've seen?
No, the one I've seen is in the streets. You have people with clubs running at each other and punching each other. I mean, it's very worrying and it's interesting. This is, okay, so this is the one I saw. You can see him with a club rushing towards him.
Wow. And this is all because of a paper, like a paper.
Yeah.
A piece of paper that somebody wants to pick and contest.
And what's worrying is you know, our history and where we've come from. I mean, we adopted this process for ourselves because instead of fighting each other, someone is lying on a gun injured. Just look at that. I mean, instead of fighting each other, we want all of us to queue and vote and decide who leads us. And so why should anyone wants to keep someone from getting access to the nomination form? And that is what I maintain causes some of these problems. I mean, he's unconscious. They are taking him away.
It's like somebody who passed out.
Yeah, he's passed out.
So if you click on the story on myjoyonline.com, it says at least 4 New Patriotic Party sympathizers in Asante Mampong constituency. Oh my God. And you know, the thing is, when it happens, is the ordinary people. These are not the people who want to be in parliament, by the way. These are just supporters of some of the people who want to be in parliament. So story says that at least 4 NPP sympathizers in Asante Mampong constituency were injured when supporters of 2 parliamentary aspirants clashed over the filing of process. Clap-wielding supporters, and we saw that in that video of incumbent member of parliament Kweku Sapong Aprachum engaged in a free-for-all fight with those of former MP and presidential aspirant Francis Adai Nimo at the party office on Wednesday. Incumbent MP and his predecessor were both expected to file their nomination separately at the party's constituency office. The decision by the election committee to reject the former presidential aspirant's forms after the incumbent had gone through the process triggered the confusion. Supporters of both attacked each other with clubs, stones, and other weapons, leaving many of them injured. Constituency executives had to run for their dear lives in the ensuing clash. Mr. Adai Nimo is unhappy about the development, which he said was avoidable, absolutely avoidable. I don't know, don't they pick intelligence on the ground?
It's, you don't know what's happening, and I think we expect the national executives of the party to intervene in this particular matter. It cannot be the case that they've not heard what's happening across the country. We've had instances where people want to pick the nomination form and it's not being given to them. I saw a story where the former president, John Ajikun was saying that the forms are not mined from the Obuasi goldfield, so he doesn't understand why people are not given the forms. And that is the starting point of the whole disagreement. There's another instance I heard about yesterday, or I think 2 days ago, from Katie Amon's constituency at Danswa, where someone had gone to pick the form, and the secretary said he was taking the form home to go and study the form before he decides whether to endorse it or not. And so then the supporters of the candidate heckled the gentleman there. They took off his shirt and pushed him around, among others. I mean, this is a form. What we need to understand is that we've decided that we want to vote to decide who leads us. And so if you think you are popular, why do you need all those tactics to get someone out of it?
Besides, they will go through a vetting process as well. That's where you decide whether or not they meet the criteria, your set criteria, to go through the process.
And once you say they don't meet it, they actually have the opportunity to even appeal. The party has internal structures. If they are dissatisfied, they can go out to the courts. And so
almost sounds like suddenly we don't want to go through the process. Well, one of the other stories on myjoyonline.com is the Media Foundation for West Africa commenting on the NCA's decision to shut down on Radio Tong. So if you click on the story, some of the details, the Media Foundation for West Africa, for instance, says the sanction was not based on any technical infraction or misapplication of the authorized frequency in a way that has national security implications. The foundation further says the action of the NCA in relation to the shutdown of Tong Radio raises some legitimate concerns about media regulation in Ghana. Practitioners, some people who've been in the business for quite a bit are beginning to, well, not beginning to, they are worried, particularly at this time with some of these sanctions and, you know, actually a bit scary because you don't know what's coming up, particularly because the NCA also doesn't speak. You know, they would just be quiet about it and, you know, it continues like
mostly
that.
they've had to be chasing the story. Once it's out there, you have the people cry foul and they have to be explaining. I think that the space we have and the role they play, it's only fair that they take advantage of the medium and communicate when such an action is taking place. Just to assure people that it's not the case that they are curtailing people's freedom to express themselves.
Okay, so after sports this morning, we'll take you to Parliament. My colleague Roland Walker will run the show from Parliament. It's the State of the Nation address. That's the time when the president appears and tells us, touches on almost all the areas, all aspects of governance, really. Can talk about economies, there's security. It's an election year, so lots of expectations, Joseph Akable, of the President's State of the Nation address.
I'm looking out for Jess Galamsey. I mean, I think it has been a disastrous fight, and we expect the President to brief us. We've not heard from him on this matter since it started. More importantly, on where we are and where we intend to go, because he put his presidency on the line, and the water bodies are not getting any cleaner. The treatment plants are struggling to deal with the water as well, and so people have had to ration water in various parts.
There's a serious water shortage in Takrady, for instance. The water companies struggling to get clean water for the people. But you know, engaging them, they think that they've actually done really well on Galamsey, because it's going to take a very long while to get the water bodies to be.
One of the stories you did, you spoke to the MPP MP who rated the president at 50%. I mean, an MPP MP. I mean, I think we can play a bit of semantics. I mean, there are some areas that some things, but I think all in all, we can all agree that things have not been as we expected.
All right, something interesting is going to happen in Parliament. So apparently, the NDC, they've got a dress code. And that is one that the MPP got a hint of. So we're going to see completely different colors on the opposite sides in Parliament. But I tell you what, it's going to look very colorful. Benedict is on standby. Benedict, I predicted Kotoko was going to lose, and they did lose. They are terrible. They've been sloppy. I don't know why nobody can say that.
But you know what? They lost. But it wasn't just about the defeat. It was about a bizarre incident that happened. I don't know if you heard about it.
We touched on it briefly about the 10 men.
To me about
that was our solution to beating Eduana, but you're not allowed to execute it properly.
But listen, Benedict, how is that legal? How is that allowed?
Well,
to fill 10 men?
You can. I mean, the rule is that you must have more than 7 on the pitch.
Okay.
So yes, if you have more than 7, the game will go ahead. But it's something unheard of that you go into a game and you decide to start with 10 when other players are on the bench.
We are very good. We could have beaten them with 10 men. That was what we were communicating.
And you're a coach, you are asked why you did that, and the coach said, I cannot explain. You know, it makes it very bizarre and insane for me, for Asante Kotoko to go through.
Only
that.
in Ghana.
It's well, that's so. I don't even know.
But they lost anyway.
Yeah, they lost by a goal. You know, they left it very late. Diana Samobiu scored the only goal in that game, and also, the other matches had to focus. Unfortunately, couldn't
it's not
win.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
it was a draw, wasn't it?
It's not a good team.
We got a point.
You are down below us on the table.
We got a point.
I told you about the table.
We got a point, Benedict.
It's okay.
Little
okay.
drops.
Let's keep it that way. A point or a draw.
Never say die.
Until the bones are rotten. And then UEFA Champions League also happened last night. We saw how Jose Mourinho's men couldn't beat Leipzig at home, and then Atalanta, new boys in the UEFA Champions League, won their game at home by 4 goals to 1. So we'll show you highlights of that plus other stories.